Mhm. Okay, so let's do just a little bit of a standing series here. And if you have a couple of blocks, you might want those because they're quite handy. So I'm just going to place them to either side of my mat here so I can use them when I want them. Okay, and the first thing here is I'd love for you to hook your thumbs. Okay, soft knees, reach your arms up. Draw the front ribs back a little bit and then just gently curve over to the right side. Come up through center on your inhale and curve to the left as you exhale. And we'll just do that one more time each side, so slow as your breath. Okay, and then up through center and gently bring your hands down to your heart. Okay, let's take an inhale again. And then as we exhale, we'll step the right foot back for warrior one. So it's sort of a long walking stance. So the heels are hips distance apart. They're not really narrow. And the back heel can land completely on the mat. Let's start with the front leg straight. Square your hips forward. Press that back heel into the mat and tuck your tailbone under a little bit so that you feel some lengthening. Okay, and then keep all that as you bend into the front leg. So in an ideal world, you're feeling the stretch in the front of the thigh of the back leg. Okay, and then reach your arms forward in front of you and then line them up. So we'll kind of draw the right half of the ribs a little bit forward. So it's a slight twist forward. Okay, turn the palms to face each other and then turn them down. So the backs of the hands are facing each other now. And then the right wrist crosses over top of the left. Still with me? So the wrists are crossed. And then just take that up as high as works for you. Okay, and then gently release that in front of you. Release the hands, allow the palms to turn up, and then just spread the hands open as if you're gesturing to your domain. Okay, I've just got my wall in the way here, just until you feel a little bit of an opening in your chest. Okay, and then soften that, let the hands come to the hips and straighten your front leg. Okay, again, square the hips. This time, allow your tailbone to flare back behind you and bring the hands down onto the blocks or the floor, or, Tupperwares, whatever you got. And then take a halfway lift, lengthening, and think of drawing your left hip a little bit back, heart nice and long. You can stay right here, or next time you exhale, melt into it a little bit more. And then you can play with your breath. So on the inhale, you can rise up gently, lengthening, drawing that left hip back. And as you exhale, you can melt. And you could also stay in either of these places. So with the heart lifted or folded forward, if you're feeling like you want to be in stillness and one of those places feels right to you. Okay, take your time. Lovely. Okay. And then next time you're in that little halfway lifted position, walk your hands or your blocks over towards the top right corner of your mat. Okay. And I'm just bringing them down a little bit lower, and then melt your heart back towards your thighs and just lean your hips to the left. So your heart is sort of heavy and soft. And there's not too much weight on the hands. They're more so tractioning so that you can get this length in your spine. And it's really the feet and the legs that are stabilizing you so you can allow the hip to draw back. This is lovely for a little bit of a stretch into the lower back. You might feel this a bit in the outer hip as well as the hamstring. That's like just the spot for me today for what's going on in my back. And then we'll gently rise up, walk the hands back in through center, and step forward to the top of the mat. Lengthen up halfway. And melt, and then we'll rise up. So you can roll up if you want to, or you can sweep up in one breath, just whatever feels like the right thing for you to do right in this particular moment. And then return the hands to your heart on your exhale. And then step back with your left foot. So we're coming into that sort of walking stance here. Back heel is completely down, feet are hips distance. Squaring the hips to the front of the mat, press that back heel into the mat. So that's another way of saying engage your glute. And then we're lengthening the tailbone here. Okay, keeping all that and then bending to the front leg. So it's not going to be a huge back bend, but the location of the stretch should really be in the front of the thigh. Okay, arms reach forward and then level them out. So that left rib is going to come forward a little bit. And then the palms face each other and then away from each other. And then the left wrist crosses over the right one. So this might already feel like, ooh, that's an interesting stretch. You can stay right here. You could experiment with reaching the arms up any amount. There should be no pain in your shoulders, okay? If this is painful in any way, just release it. Okay, and then bring the hands forward again. Release the wrist, turn the palms to face up, and then open, spreading the fingers until you feel a nice stretch in your chest. Keep the shoulders nice and down. So this is externally rotating the shoulders. Try to keep that tailbone long. And then soften the hands, just gently let that go. We'll straighten the front leg. Allow the tailbone to release back and bring the hands down to the blocks or the floor. Okay. And then on your inhale, lift your heart. Stay here just to find your alignment. So nice long spine. Legs are straightish, but you can have a bend in the front knee for sure. Draw the right hip a little bit back, heart nice and long, and either stay or melt as you exhale. And then there's your flow. So you can rise and fall with your breath. Or if you're feeling like, yeah, you just want to stay in one of those places, they both the lifted position and the folded position have benefits. It's a little bit different intentions. Nice. Okay. And then next time you're in that lifted position, let's stay there and then walk the hands over to the top left corner of your mat. So there's not a lot of weight in your hands. You're not leaning into them. You're actually leaning away from the hands so that they're tractioning you a little bit, but you're drawing your weight back into that right hip and melting the heart. So again, there's that little bit of a stretch into the quadratus lumborum, which is that lower back muscle that you're probably feeling right now. You might also be feeling this in the outer part of the leg, a little bit of the hip, hamstring for sure. And none of this should feel painful or too much, so just back off a bit if it's not working for you. This should feel good, right? That's what we're doing here. So nice. And then when you're ready, we'll gently come back up, walk the hands back in to the midline, and then just gently step forward so that your feet are at the top of your mat. Take a halfway lift, drawing your heart forward. Exhale, gently fold. And then again, come to stand in whatever way works for you. So rolling up is great. Sweeping up is great. Looking for that easeful standing, taking any fidgeting that you might need or just being still. And taking a moment to notice how you feel right here.